Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking a really comprehensive 2026 independent review from Dealberry all about Axavive. It's a highly discussed botanical supplement making some big claims about supporting skin health, literally from the inside out. Now, if you've been following the beauty space lately, you've probably noticed a massive shift. People are moving away from just slapping on another layer of expensive cream and moving towards something called cellular nutrition. So we're going to take a super close look at this review to see exactly what that means and if the science actually backs up the hype.
So, let's kick things off with a question that probably hits a little too close to home. Why are those incredibly costly surface-level serums and moisturizers totally failing to give you lasting results? You know the drill, right? You buy the super trendy serums, you do the exhausting 10-step nighttime routine, and yet your skin still just doesn't have that natural glow it used to. Well, the stark truth highlighted in this review is that topical products can really only do so much. They just sit on top. But real, actual, lasting transformation, that literally has to start from within. To unpack all of this, we're going to follow a straightforward roadmap today. First, we'll look beyond surface skincare. Second, we'll examine the botanical formula itself. Third, we'll weigh expectations versus reality. And finally, we'll look at the costs and the reviewer's ultimate verdict.
All right, diving right into Section 1, Beyond Surface Skincare.
This right here is the absolute core contrast of the entire review. While topical products essentially act as a chemical band-aid managing those surface-level symptoms, Axavive is designed to provide deep cellular nutrition. It's going after the root causes. And what do we mean by root causes? Well, the review points to the things scientists have identified as the true accelerators of aging. We're talking oxidative stress, declining collagen synthesis, and poor microcirculation. Basically, your skin desperately needs nourishment down at the cellular level, not just a temporary synthetic gloss on the surface.
Now, you're going to hear this term a lot, the golden seed switch. It sounds kind of like marketing jargon at first, right? But the review breaks it down beautifully. It essentially means shifting your routine's entire focus to supporting weakened cellular communication beneath the skin. It's a targeted biological pathway framework. So instead of treating the skin as this outer shell that just needs to be polished, the golden seed switch treats it as an active, living organ that needs to be fed and stimulated from the inside out. It's a totally different mindset.
Let's move straight into Section 2, the botanical formula. Let's see what's actually inside the capsule. Okay, so looking inside the capsule, there is a very clear research-backed logic here addressing specific aging pathways. There's no random, trendy fluff included. For instance, you've got Bacopa monnieri targeting stress-induced damage, and we all know stress is just a massive accelerator of aging. Then there's pine bark extract, which is an absolute antioxidant powerhouse for neutralizing free radicals. You've also got Centella asiatica, famously known as Sika in the Korean beauty world, which is amazing for wound healing and hydration. The review really emphasizes that this is a thoughtfully assembled formula where these 6 botanicals work synergistically to hit those exact root causes we just talked about.
And there are some really great baseline facts here too. It's 100% plant-based, it's manufactured right here in the US in a GMP-certified facility, and absolutely zero harsh chemicals. But honestly, the best part? You do not have to throw away your favorite moisturizer or your daily sunscreen. Instead, you just add this simple daily capsule to build an inside-out layer of support that your topical products literally cannot provide on their own. Plus, it's backed by a 90-day money-back guarantee, so the reviewer notes it's essentially risk-free if you want to test it out.
Let's transition over to Section 3, Expectations and Reality. This is where we talk about the slow burn.
I love this because this user testimony perfectly pivots us away from that whole myth of an overnight beauty fix, right into the reality of true cellular nutrition. Look at those last words, slow results, but real ones. Other verified reviews completely echoed this. One user mentioned having to wait 8 weeks to see smoother, more hydrated skin, and another saw real texture differences after 3 months. Yes, it takes patience, for sure, but this botanical approach seems to really resonate with the people who actually stick with it.
And this slow burn idea, it is heavily emphasized for a very good reason. Because Axavive targets deep collagen synthesis and cellular communication, it's going to take a minimum of 6 to 12 weeks for those internal changes to actually show up on the surface of your face. Think about it. If you start your daily habit in week 1, you really shouldn't expect to see even the absolute earliest surface-level changes until week 6. In week 12, that is the typical time frame for real, undeniable improvements in firmness and hydration. Patience is just absolutely key here.
But you know, the review is also brutally honest about the cons, which is refreshing. First up, obviously, it is not an instant fix, period. It also requires a bit of a financial commitment, since the starting price point is definitely on the higher side.
Also, you can only buy it online through their official website to avoid counterfeits, so no running to the local pharmacy to grab a bottle. And most importantly, because these are highly active botanical ingredients, you absolutely must consult a doctor if you have underlying conditions or take prescription meds.
Okay, let's wrap up with Section 4, costs and the final verdict. Is it actually worth it? Let's look at the reviewer's balanced scorecard. Notice those really high marks for safety and trust at 4.5 and ingredient quality at 4.4. The reviewer clearly respects this transparent, plant-based, USA-manufactured formula. But check out the effectiveness score. It sits at a 3.8. Now, the reviewer explicitly points out that this slightly lower score isn't because the product doesn't work. It's strictly because of that slow timeline we just talked about. It requires serious everyday consistency. But overall, when you combine all these factors, Axavive lands a very solid 4.2 out of 5 rating.
So, looking at the tiered pricing model, there's actually a highly practical strategy hidden here. A 1-month starter bottle is roughly $79. But the reviewers strongly suggest that the 3-bottle package, coming in around $177, is absolutely the most practical starting point. Why? Because of the timeline. You need a minimum of 6 to 12 weeks to see the magic happen. Buying just 1 bottle means you might run out literally right before the botanicals have had enough time to visibly alter your skin's hydration and elasticity. Ultimately, deciding if this is the right move for you comes down to your personal expectations. This is strictly for adults over 30 who are noticing early signs of aging and are willing to commit to a daily botanical habit. It's for people totally comfortable with gradual, sustainable improvement. On the flip side, you should absolutely skip this if you're looking for immediate dramatic results overnight or if you have a specific medical skin condition that requires an actual doctor's intervention. It's all about aligning what the product biologically does with what you expect it to do.
So to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought based on everything we've seen in this review. Are you finally ready to abandon the sheer frustration of overnight fixes and invest your patience into long-term cellular health? If the science of the golden seed switch and these 6 botanicals holds true, then the path to radiant skin isn't found in a quick-fix chemical cream, but in a daily, inside-out commitment. Thanks so much for joining me to unpack this fascinating review, and as always, keep seeking to understand the science behind your daily routines.